Askreddit thread. What's the meanest thing you've told a person unintentionally? To the clerk at the corner store. Wow, you've had those crunches a long time. When does the cast come off? Turns out he has one leg. One-legged guy here. We get, oh no, what did you do to your foot type comments on the regular. Usually I just say I think they threw it away and let them proceed as I crunch away. Don't worry about it, I have one leg. As an amputee, if you don't have a sense of humor about it, you're fucked. He gets to say things like, I stand corrected all the time. I didn't really think that was that mean. Why is this the highest rated one? I asked my boyfriend if something made me look fat. He tried to explain that if I was fat, that people would be able to see it in my face, but it came out as, no, your face makes you look fat. Wait, what? He tried to explain that if I was fat, that people would be able to see it in my face, but it came out as, no, your face makes you look fat. Oh god, when my girlfriend asked me if her dress makes her look good, I tried to say that she didn't need anything to look good. She did on her own. Nothing makes you look good. Ouch. What I meant to say was I preferred you naked. Wiggle, wiggle. A former girlfriend and I were cuddling one night and talking. I forgot the whole conversation, but it had something to do with the worth and value, you're worth $1 million, etc. Well, she looks at me and says, you're worthless. Then she meant to say that I was priceless. I was at a pre-wedding party and was watching the bride and groom unwrap some presents, one of which was curtain rods. They were in a long, thin cardboard box, and people were trying to guess what they were before they were opened and yelling out various guesses. I yelled out, it's a shotgun. And of course, one of the reasons they were getting married was that she had gotten pregnant. Instant facepalm when I saw her mom/aunt/sisters giving me the death stare. My friends were howling, though. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Back in high school, I was visiting a friend and her little sister was going to be in a horse competition. She was super excited about it and ran down the stairs with a giant sparkling garment. I didn't know anything about horses, but I did recall decorating a horse for a competition at summer camp once. So I stupidly said, oh, is that for the horse? I thought it was the part where you would put under the saddle. Turns out it was the sister's shirt for the competition. The sister was fairly overweight too. I felt so bad. Shit, you just reminded me. This girl at work is all too excited to walk up to the sales board every single sale, while the rest of us simply pop numbers up a few at a time once or twice a day. I asked her why she feels the need to go up every time, and she said, I don't know, so I replied, well, at least you're getting exercise. She is also a big girl. My cringe face directly followed, almost punctuated my statement. You see, that would be a normal thing to say to someone if they weren't overweight. Then it makes it seem bad. It's like, oh shit, I didn't mean it like that. I would have said the same thing even if you were of normal weight. You know, dig yourself into a deeper hole. When I was in college, I worked at an Italian restaurant that had a club for pregnant women. I'm sure you can already see where this is going. Because there was some dumb made-up legend that if your baby is due and you want to speed along the delivery, our spaghetti sauce will make it go into labor. Anyway, rookie mistake. I told a woman who looked to be very obviously pregnant about the legend of the club. If you go into labor within 3 days of eating, yada yada, you get a certificate for a free dinner. Well, you guessed it, she wasn't pregnant. I was mortified and told my manager. He laughed and said he's done that several times before, learning that you have to always wait for a woman to bring up her pregnancy first before you ever say anything. A restaurant with a pregnant woman club is just asking for problems on so many levels. Yeah. This girl was really into what my friend and his girlfriend was doing for Valentine's Day. Her expectations were totally unrealistic. Kind of like a girl who is single and expects the perfect movie scene for Valentine's Day. I knew she had to be single. But for some reason the thought of common decency slipped my mind. Hey, do you have a boyfriend? No, why? Yeah, I didn't think so. So casually, and I was digging through the care package I just got from my parents for being single. Yay. According to my friends, her mouth was just open, and she started to tear up a little. I honestly didn't realize what I said was super douchey until 2 hours after. Honest question, is it possible in any way to smoothly recover from that? Hey, I'm really sorry about what I said earlier. I just wanted to confirm that you were single. It came out super wrong. That's actually a good way to do it. An elderly woman, mid-80s, who lived across the street from me was outside gardening one afternoon. The lady saw me and said, "Hey, Sashich, isn't it a beautiful day?" To which I replied, "It is. Enjoy it while you can," and then I promptly got in my car and drive off. It was a beautiful day, but the news had said the thunderstorms were likely later that day. I was thinking about this and responded as though we were both just having a discussion about this. Instead, I reminded her of her impermanence in this life. You know, old people don't really care about that, right? Most of them are just waiting to die. This is awesome. Maybe she knew what she meant, but even if not, don't be too hard on yourself. I can't wait until I'm old so I can tell unsuspecting youngsters like you to go fuck themselves when they accidentally make fun of my age. She knew both meanings, but most 8-year-olds know young people don't think of death. Also, she probably is more focused on weather than you, so you're in the clear. Yeah, I don't really think that's bad. I was playing some music in my apartment when there was a knock at the front door. My roommate went to answer it because we were expecting his younger brothers to show up. I was good buddies with both my roommate and his brother, and we were always gave each other a hard time. So when he went to open the door, I shouted across the house, "Is it that skinny little bitch?" Apparently, my next door neighbor, who happened to be very small, skinny guy, was just coming over to ask if I could turn my music down a little bit because we shared a wall. I felt like such a dick. Oh, that's mad. I had some friends in college with whom we first started hanging out. The standard farewell was, "Bye, name, hope you find your dad," line from movie Elf. Well, eventually he began to extend to saying goodbye to people outside the group. So one time we're hanging around a group's apartment, and one of his roommates, who none of us knows very well, leaves the apartment, and after he's left, the door shuts, we all say, "Bye, roommate's name, hope you find your dad." He apparently heard through the door and later confronted my friend because he thought we were making fun of him for being black, by implying he didn't know who his dad was. Oops. To be fair, that is a really dumb thing to say to someone. In high school, I once paid a visit to a truck shop, and I bought my snack, smiled at the older student behind the counter, and said, "I love your eyebrows. They look like spider legs." She didn't take the compliment quite as I expected, but I smiled and walked away. As I walked away, I realized that I had meant to say eyelashes, not eyebrows. Thinking back, even if I had correctly complimented her eyelashes rather than her brows, in the rather odd way my awkward adolescent self chose to, I am not sure she would take it a compliment anyway. Yes, spider eyelashes is an insult as well. Refers to big, ridiculously fake-looking ones. Yeah, I didn't think that was a very good one, even for eyelashes either. Some background first. In the Netherlands, it's very common to give someone a ride on the back of your bike, which has a frame to support to put stuff on. So I was in a restaurant, a team dinner for a company I worked for. When it was time to go home, a female colleague needed a ride to the train station. This girl was quite overweight. One of my other colleagues said, "Dutch Juice is here by bicycle. He can give you a ride," to which I immediately replied to him, and the whole group was listening, "But I just bought a new bike." I couldn't finish my sentence because everyone was laughing out loud at this point. What I meant to say was, I just bought a new bicycle and it doesn't have a carrier frame. You should have seen the embarrassment on this girl's face when she was being mocked in public. Dutch juice. Dutch douche. My girlfriend once had a horrible infection underneath each of her fingernails from a botched manicure. She had been complaining about wanting to chop her fingers off for weeks. My manager was having a work party and we both attended, and I kept making jokes about disembodied figures the entire night. The jokes always seemed to make people more uncomfortable than it should have. It wasn't until halfway into the night that when I introduced to my manager's wife and shook her hands, which only had 2 fingers, I was horrified, not by her hand, but that everyone at the party must have thought I was making sick jokes about this woman's fingers all night. I didn't know. Okay, so you sound like just a dumb person. I was in the car with my wife, her brother, and his wife. We passed a restaurant and I said, "Wow, that place is tacky." It was where my sister-in-law had her bridal shower. Wow, that place is... I've done this exact type of thing my entire life. "Hey, have you ever seen The Thing?" Yes, I hate that thing. It totally sucks. Why? It's my favorite thing ever, and it means a lot to me. Oh. Rule of thumb, if they bring it up, don't give an opinion until you know theirs. I've done the exact type of thing my entire life. Hey, have you ever seen the thing? Why? It's my favorite thing ever, and it means a lot to me. Yes, I hate that thing. It totally sucks. Am I doing this right? A co-worker was talking about her weight, 240 pounds, and I blurted out, wow, that's two of me. I don't know what I was thinking, other than I clearly wasn't thinking. That's an inside thought. Wow, that's two of me. When I was a teenager, I did a lot of volunteering with disabled adults. For an entire summer, there was a dedicated crew of us at a facility. I quickly made friends with most of them, including a dude who I became good friends with, Sam. The last day of the job, Sam asked me out. I blurted out, oh my god, you're a girl? I will never ever forget the look on her face. I crushed that young lady. I always thought about that and look in her eyes. That was over 20 years ago. Edit, wow, my highest rated comment ever is about 14-year-old me being a prick. Crew, I made good friends with most of them, including a dude who I became good friends with, Sam. Oh, dude, I feel you. Sam is a tough name. I had a guy in my high school math class named Sam. One day the teacher called on him and said, can you come up to the board and show your work, young lady? I laughed out loud and yelled, haha, he called you a lady. The whole class went silent. Everybody looked at me with the, what the fuck is wrong with you? Look on their face. Turns out Sam is a girl and I'm a huge asshole. Oh, wow. Oh, God, I feel the awkward in my rectum. Oh, man. As my school photographer was separating boys from girls, he asked a fellow third grader right in the eye and asked, are you a boy or a girl? And it went about as well as you'd expect. I had front row seat to this and couldn't stop laughing. Third grade, come on. His defense, she had a bowl cut. I was on a learning trip to Dialogue in the Dark Museum, and it was basically allows you to experience how being blind feels like. We were led on a tour by a visually impaired guy, and she was really cool. She answered any questions we had and gave honest replies. At the end of the tour, she asked us what we thought of the tour, and I said it was eye-opening. That's not intentionally rude. It would be rude of her not to laugh at that. Yeah, that's just a top pun. Yeah, a lot of these have just been like really... They're not really rude. I was actually thinking about just quitting out of this thread early because a lot of them have just been very disappointing. It's like, oh, that's something that only someone with no sense of humor would, get offended by. But some of them have been legitimately like, oh, I can't believe you said that, you idiot. That's the only reason I'm still reading these. I was working as a cashier. An older woman comes in and asks for just a coffee. I was relatively new on the job, but I did know the seniors got a free cup. Trying to be a nice person, I asked the woman how old she was. Excuse me, she said. Well, senior citizens get a free coffee. Do I look like a senior citizen? She said. I knew I fucked up. She said in such a way I could tell she was in pain. She didn't look super old, but I wanted to be sure, and well, I stammered and eventually gave her the coffee free anyway just to get her away. I felt awful. And the nail in the coffin was when she was walking away, I heard her mutter to herself, never happened before. That was a shitty day. I never saw her again. If I had, I would have fallen over myself apologizing. Oh yeah, we used to have senior discounts at the place I used to work at. The rule was to never ask what their age and only give it if they asked for it. Which they usually did, so I never had any kinds of conversations like this. I think I might have. But never to old women, because I'm not stupid. But to, older guys. Do I look like I'm a senior citizen? But in a very joking manner. When I worked at Subway, I gave a senior discount if they looked remotely like a senior, without mentioning anything about it. Or if they were funny or nice, or had a cute kid, looked like they were having a bad day. My manager wanted us all to tell senior women that they were getting their young ladies discount. See, they know what they're doing. I call people chief. I don't know why I do it. Once a gentleman reached a door before I did, so he held it open and gestured me through. Without thinking about it, I said, thanks, chief, and walked through. he was a Native American, and I think this may have been an intentional slur. Damn, I would never call someone chief unless I was trying to be condescending, though. It's in the same league as calling an adult champ or buddy to me. That's true. This could be a Seinfeld episode. Yeah, because it's a lame joke. I was with my first girlfriend. She asked me what I considered attractive. It seemed like a bait question. I'm only laughing because I knew someone who used to ask me things like this all the time. Very baity questions because they were looking for a very specific answer. I answered something along the lines of, I don't really care about booty, boobs, or whatnot. I just want a nice girl with a good personality. Then I mentally freaked out because I was thinking, oh shit, she's got to think I'm going to leave her or something. So being the idiot that I am, for some reason I say, but it's okay, baby, I have low... Oh my god. It's okay, baby, I have low standards. I thought that was okay for like 2 seconds and then thought about it and realized how stupid that was. We broke up like 2 weeks later for what she called an unrelated reason. With the booty and boobs comment, I would assume you think I don't have enough of it. The only correct answer to this is to smile and say, you, right? That's a pretty good one. But the thing is, the type of person I knew who asked questions like that, they would have pressed for a specific answer. They wouldn't let you get away with that. Those kind of people are difficult to deal with sometimes. Posting this after I told my cousin that she reminded me of a blue whale in her new sweater. It took me a couple of moments to process why she went from smiles to tears so quickly, and also how badly I fucked up. She's 8 months pregnant and was already overweight to begin with, so you can imagine the response I may have gotten. I was going for a compliment along the lines of a cute animal, so in no way was I trying to be rude. A blue whale, I thought, because a whale and it's a child might be cute. I clearly was wrong. Yeah. I understand your line of thinking. It was just poorly thought out. My friend has muscular dystrophy and isn't going to make it to 30. So a bunch of us were talking on Skype one night while I was drinking, and my friend said something along the lines of, the whole world should be as strong as I am. And without thinking, I say, considering your condition, the world would be fucked. I didn't mean to make it sound as bad as it did, and he told me to fuck off. Oh, poor guy. My assistant manager is one of the sweetest humans I've ever met. She is also rather big, which is not a problem at all. She is still gorgeous and has a heart of gold. She recently showed me a picture of her fiancé, who is extremely handsome. I am, for all intents and purposes, a lesbian, and I was caught off guard by how attractive I found this man. So I exclaimed, oh my god, he's handsome. She kind of laughed awkwardly, and I thought it was because I just told her I found her fiancé attractive. It wasn't until later that I realized that, from my tone, it sounded like I was surprised she was with a handsome man, and not that I was surprised that I actually found a man attractive. That's such an underwhelming story. Okay, I'm just gonna end it here. I was so underwhelming that I just don't want to read any more of them.